Hello YouTube and fellow resellers, my name is Kevin the Stoic Reseller, and I'm back at you with another What Sold in the last week or so. If you're new here, I buy new and used clothing. I sell those items on Poshmark and eBay. If you're new here, I talk about the glitches on eBay all the time, and we've just decided to start calling it glitch. Yeah. So, anyways, I kind of show you different ways of selling. I show you exactly my numbers. I don't keep any secrets. I show you exactly what I sell, and I tell you exactly what I'm trying to do. I personally am a part-time, but my wife now is working for me, so now I'm kind of like three quarters. Yeah. So the new goal of the business is to ensure my wife can stay home with my son and be a mom, and to create some financial independence by basically using the next 6 months and paying off all of our debt. So, if you like this content, subscribe, comment below, and let's get right into it. So, if you are new here, man, I'm having a stroke on camera here. I always like to show the sales numbers from last week. You can see here I had a total sold count of 70 for net profit of 551.10 and average profit per item of 787. Poshmark was 39.9% of total sales last week, and last week was abysmal. It was terrible. You can see the graph started here and then it just died. And I've had some solid days, but for the most part, it looks nothing like the graph over here. I mean, this is like Japan, and this is like North Korea over here. Okay, it's really bad. So anyways, there's that as a reminder. Let me pull up this week's totals, and I'll kind of transpose them here in a second so we can do a thorough evaluation. It's been very similar, which is odd. So as for reference, we're going to start down here. We had 71 total sold items. I listed 84 items last week with the assistance of my wife. That gives us an 84.52% sell-through rate overall last week. So now let's start. eBay had 29 orders. Guys, that is dog shit. Look at last week, 36, and that was low. So 29 total orders for an entire week. I don't know what's happening. But, let me just come out with it. So I'm increasing my listings by 50% because I'll be sourcing more often to ensure the financial stability of the family. And we're running a test. So this week and possibly the second week, to eliminate any variance of like time of month, we're going to see if the amount of traction that I get is 50% more than what I have now. So we'll be listing going from 12 to 18. So that's 6 more items. And so theoretically, you should see about a 30 to 35% increase in page views, impressions, and hopefully, that translates to 30 to 40% more sales. I have no idea. We're going to find out. We will compare this week to this past week on the next video and see where our numbers lie. And then if the numbers don't add up, I'm also going to start testing the whole theory that we're only allotted so many sales. Because if I'm increasing my listings by this much, you would expect sales to increase, right? Obviously, the more you list, the more sales you have. I'm not depleting the quality of my items. The quality of my items are actually better going into this upcoming weeks than they have been in a long time. So theoretically, sales should be higher, but we'll see. And then the second part of that, to really see if it's a throttling, is after a week's worth of data, maybe 2, just to eliminate variance, I will probably end up promoting my items at 2%, only the ones that are saturated and have a lot of competition. So we're going to see if that actually makes a difference. I see. I feel like my my account and my store is in a very unique position to test that out and to give true data to see if promoted listings impacts anything or even if increased listings impacts anything. It used to be, you go a year ago, and it used to be that, yeah, if you promoted, you would get more traction and sales, or if you added more items into your store, you would get more sales. But there is that theory that eBay basically gates you, and you only can get so much money in a certain period of time. I'm not the only one that has that theory or has actually experienced that, where I'll have a period of time of fantastic sales, and then I have now the last 2 weeks, which have been absolutely terrible. So we got some debunking to do, and hopefully I do debunk it. And if I don't debunk it, we got some problems. But let's get back to the numbers. eBay, 29 sales for an average of $35.41 per item bought equals $1,026.84. My cost of goods dropped after this last sourcing to $9.65, which cost me $279.85. Average cost stayed stagnant at 27.7%. That's still really good. As long as that stays under 30%, I'm a happy camper. $284.43 is what that cost me. Profit, that's just gross profit, guys. It's $462.56 or 45.05%. Man, I'm struggling with numbers today. I'm tired. Sorry. Of the total sales. So that's below my goal, about 5%, guys. 15% on the total sales is what I charge myself for taxes. That kind of covers everything. It's $154.03, leaving me with $308.53 of clean after all expenses profit, which is 30.05%, which is missing my goal by 2.95% of total sales. If we were just sticking on eBay, this would be an abysmal week. But, if I was doing this part-time, I can handle all that part-time, and you have to figure who can use an extra $308 in a week. I think most people at this point can. Most people, that's their grocery bill for a week or two. So that's really good. I was putting in about 24 hours a week. Now it's a little bit less, so I get to do a little bit more of the intricacies of the business. So, going on to Poshmark. Now, guys, you may be wondering why this number down here, I track the percentage of sales that Poshmark was based on the dollar amount every week. Because I have some viewers interested to see how Poshmark does in comparison to eBay on a non-promoted basis. So, if you're new here, I do not promote any items on eBay currently. It is 100% pure organic. Just take it how it is. There's reasons for that. If you disagree, go watch some of my other videos to see why and how I do it. But anyways, Poshmark had 42 total sold items for an average buy of $26.05. Remember, the buyer pays shipping on top of that, but that isn't cooked into my numbers. That is something that is completely separate, as you can see here moving down. That was $1,094. Cost of goods was $965. That cost me $405.30. And you can see here, average sales cost is only 20% on Poshmark. It's flat 20. So a lot of people say, well, yeah, it's got a higher final value fee on Poshmark. Yeah, but my average sales costs are lower by 7.7%. So people blow my mind. I've had a couple of people argue that point, and I just don't understand it. It's like, do you not know your numbers intricate enough to understand that with shipping on eBay, your average sales costs are much higher than on Poshmark? So I don't know. But anyway, that cost me $218.80. Profit before taxes $469.90, which is 42.95. Also missing my goal by about a lot. You take the taxes of $164.10, leaves me clean profit on Poshmark $305.80. Missing my goal by also a lot. So that leaves us here 71 items sold. Gives us that sell-through rate of 84.52%. Total net profit for last week was $614.33, which isn't bad. I mean, that's pretty good for a week's worth of total. My average profit per item jumped up almost a whole dollar there. um, which is really good. I like to see that. I want that a little bit higher, but I'm not going to complain. But here's the big news of the day. Poshmark is 51.58% of my total sales, guys. Poshmark has been a very steady, consistent driver of sales. I don't even. If you're not cross-listed, if you're in the same categories that I'm in, there's no reason you should not be cross-listing to Poshmark. There's free services that do it. I use Vendu. I pay about $100 a month between Vendu and AutoPosher to run Poshmark for me. It's a much more intensive platform than eBay. But then again, eBay is also becoming a much more in-depth, intensive platform. So, yeah, guys, there's the numbers. You know, it's beating and weep. I mean, that's just what it is. My last 2 weeks have been really bad. So let's get into the top 10, starting at number 10. You had these REI Trail Made shorts. These are brand new tags. I got these on clearance at a Goodwill. Just remember, my average buy cost for all this stuff is $9.68 or 65 cents. So just factor that when you see the sold. I took an offer of $30. As you can see, that's the lowest that were in my top 10 this week. Again, like last week, I think I got done like $28 or $29. It was really bad. Normally, I don't go that low in my top 10, but you get the sales where you can get them. Next is a Viore Stratotech Polo. These are really nice. Guys, if you're wearing gloves in the thrift store, this may not be the business for you. You're going to miss these type of items. Now, this one you may not because of the tag was still attached, but very commonly these tags are missing, and you're either going to have to find this logo, or I know the feel of Viore by touch. So it's very important if you're selling clothes that you're at the thrift store without gloves. Make sure you're wearing clothes because that'd be awkward. Make sure you just don't have gloves. You're naked. Your hands are naked, not your body. No one wants to see that unless you're really good looking. Maybe someone does, but I have no idea. So anyways, yeah, this sold for $30 offer as well. Hey, some Nike. Used Nike of all things. Look at this. See, I still sell the shit out of Nike. I still find it very often. This is just some ADV Advanced Aeroswift Racer Running Jogger, blah, 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 blah. This sold for like $39. So, really good. This again was a feel thing, and also I've really studied up on Nike. I've had a lot of experience with it when I did Ross finds and things like that. You just get a good understanding of what is a good Nike piece, and you just find it. I always keep telling people, Nike is abundant everywhere, and I highly recommend that if you want to learn Nike, it's almost like Levi's. If you want to learn Levi's or Nike, anything, pick it all up or do the research in the thrift store and then figure it out from there. Levi's is something that I'm really bad at, and I'm starting to try to dig deep into because I see it all the time. So I know I'm leaving money on the table. Nike, however, I'm not leaving any money on the table. I know what's a good piece. Obviously, you look it up to make sure. But yeah, here's a great piece. $39 for a used pair of Nike. That's really good. William Murray. This was a nice $30 sale as well. Yeah, because William Murray had this, I called it gopher attack. I didn't know what else to call it. I mean, like the guy's zapping a gopher. He's over here blowing up a gopher hole. It's a really cool shirt. William Murray is still a very strong golf brand. It does not command what it once did. You go back about 6 months, and I could probably have gotten 45 for this polo. But you have the introduction of like G4, Bad Birdie, Roback. You have some really, really good golf brands, and William Murray's still really good, really expensive, brand new. But the fact of the matter is it's not as good as it once was, which is a shame. But yeah, anyways, William Murray, guys, good golf brand. Pick it up if you can. Next, this is a something that you didn't. I pick up most Marine Layer, not because it's a great seller on eBay, but because it's a fantastic seller on Poshmark. Marine Layer is, I don't know. It sells so much better on Poshmark. The fact that this sold on eBay kind of surprised me. It's in really good shape. I was one of the few that had the blue and green colorway. The other ones are like red and like a gold or brown. I don't know. But yeah, this is the color block full zip hoodie retro. Really good shape, honestly. $35. If you actually look this up on eBay, it doesn't have a very good sell through rate. I actually got a kind of in my opinion, I got a premium on the price, but yeah, pick it up. I mean, especially if you saw on Poshmark, this marine layer sport stuff does really well on Poshmark. North Face, I don't pick up every North Face, and honestly, North Face is something that I am also still trying to uh, more or less figure out. There's it's something I see quite regularly. I see a lot of like fleece. I see a lot of like kind of like the lightweight, maybe like rain. I would say like a windbreaker almost. I see it all the time, and for me, it's like that can't be good. Like, and maybe I should take the time to look those items up just to see what it does well, what doesn't do well. The other struggle I have is it's always priced to the moon. Yeah, I'm talking like what was the most egregious one I saw this weekend? It was a women's small thermal ball parka. Now I know the thermal ball vest and jacket do really well, and I know the parka is like $100 jacket. Goodwill wanted $65. I was just like, $65. That shit's gonna be there, and no one. I don't even think anyone's gonna pick it up at clearance. I might if I see it again, but damn, $65. And it's like, sometimes you sit there and you wonder, why does Goodwill, why is it so variable across the country? Because you can watch other YouTubers who have like really good Goodwills, and they're paying like $5 for shorts, $6 for pants. A jacket will cost them maybe $10. It doesn't matter the brand or anything. You're just sitting there like, fuck, man. If I picked up those same pair of shorts, I'm paying $10 minimum. It's like, but anyways, I know I paid up for this, but again, I average everything out. This took about a month to sell, but it sold. I mean, I accepted an offer of $40 because, just like Polish Pete does, he tries to sell an item and then just keep it going. And this was something I was like, okay, good sell. I did take a little bit higher than average offer on it, and I was trying to get him strung along, and it didn't work. And this week was just frustrating overall. I mean, I still made profit. I can't complain, but it was what it was, and I need to dig deep and figure out what's going on now that I'm more reliant on this. Here's a cool shirt. So if you don't know, Taylor Stitch, great brand. If you can get this in good shape at a good price, you definitely buy Taylor Stitch. I, for the most part, have a hard time leaving this brand in the thrift store. There's a few brands I just don't leave in the thrift. When you see it, you pick it up, and you just don't give anyone the opportunity. I don't care the price, you just pick it up. So this is called a Guyabera shirt. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just know that when you get like the all the pockets in the front, and it's kind of like almost like something you'd see like a 50s, 60s like tourist in South America wear, almost with their like vintage Banana Republic vest and all this other that's what I don't know. I get Latino vibes from this, okay? But yeah. I knew this was something special. I'm the only one on the internet that had this. I had some really low ball offers a lot of the time. But yeah, this sold. I accepted an offer of $41 or something like that. And it took a while to sell though, guys. But Taylor Stitch is a fantastic brand. Again, I pick up everything in it. And it all sells between 20 and a lot. Here's a cool shirt as well. I took an offer of $46 for this. So it's Peter Millar Summer Comfort. And you're like, Summer Comfort. It's like $20. If it didn't have this logo, it was $20. But it had the Barstool Sports Transfusion logo. And you can see there, that's what the Barstool Sports logo is. This brand, not Peter Millar. Peter Millar is pretty solid, but Barstool Sports. They have their own brand, which I found this weekend, and it sucks ass. It is not a good seller. I found a brand new Attax polo, and I was like, fuck yeah. And it was not. It was like, I think they sold brand new for like $15, and they wanted 12 at the thrift store. Um, but their logo on premium products like Peter Millar, if you find it on Roback, if someone added this to a Roback polo, holy shit, you're talking $70 plus. Um, yeah, the Barstool Sports logo is really premium. You find it most commonly on the brand's called Unreal. It's UNRL Golf, and it stands for Unreal Golf. And you find it the most often on that, and you can command about $25 to $30 for those polos. Peter Millar, this exact color and size had sold for $55, so I priced it at that. This took a week to sell. If I can fill my store with like 100 of these things, I'd be living a little bit higher on the shelf. All right, we got the last two. This is Adidas crossover with Kith. I got this at a buy sell trade store. Maybe it's not really a trade, so it's a buy sell store where they buy people's items and they resell it in their own store. This had like this weird mark on it. I didn't see it when I bought it. So this normally probably would have gone for, I don't know, probably 130 would be my guess. Kith is it's like a streetwear brand. But anyways, it sold, and I took an offer because I'd had it for a while. It takes a lot of space. Took an offer of $50. Yeah, I just wanted to get it gone. It had the damage. I kind of shot for the moon to see what was available, and yeah. And the last item is this fantastic Carhartt pant. I sent a 15% off offer of this. I'm not sure why it doesn't show that. It did have a small little mark, but these are vintage. They are like almost dead stock. I mean, they were like brand spanking new. Very, very little wear, which for vintage Carhartt is kind of good and bad. The reason I marketed it so high is because the made in the U.S. double front pair, like here, these are vintage. You're not going to get those in new. The fact that it was in brand new condition. So a lot of people, myself included, as you can see, I always wear these origin shirts, are trying, especially when it's blue collar workers, they are trying so hard to they want to support America. And there's a lot of brands that don't really support America. I mean, they're housed here, they contribute to our GDP, but all their shit's either made in China or Vietnam. And it really sucks, and especially Carhartt, because I remember my brother-in-law, he loves his Carhartts, but now he really doesn't buy them because they're all made in like Vietnam or Cambodia or somewhere, and the material and the quality isn't the same. So I have found him a couple pairs of vintage ones once, and I just gave it to him. It's hard to find. So yeah, guys, again, if you can find the ones made in the U.S. in good condition, they will command money. I don't buy much Carhartt anymore because it's just a fashion brand. And to be honest with you, my Goodwills just price the living shit out of it. I mean, like here's Carhartt, here's Columbia, and here's North Face. And those are all priced fucking minimum 15 plus. And it's so sickening. So, yeah, those are the top 10 on eBay. So I'm going to show, as I always do, I always show the Poshmark stuff. And I already have it, filtered. This is all that sold last week. Or is it? No. I thought it was. It didn't keep my filter. Gosh darn it. So the 19th through the 25th. Apply. Here we go. All right, so we had some Lululemon, and I do this mainly just to show you guys what sells on Poshmark, and because all this stuff sells on eBay just as well in my book, but I do this to counter the crazy commenters that say, "Oh, it's the stuff you buy. Stop buying shit." Okay, well, if I'm buying shit to sell on eBay, why is it selling on Poshmark better? It's that kind of reasoning. It's that kind of stuff that I like to throw into the face of the people who more or less don't understand what is actually happening. And I'm not complaining by any means. If they want to comment, that just promotes my video. But it's for me, it's like I struggle. I'm still working on my mentality. I try to live by my name, stoic reseller. I try to be a stoic person, and it's really difficult and challenging in many scenarios because I'm a very logically minded person, and I also am quick to read and diagnose a situation. And it just seems like people are more or less they don't have that capacity anymore. They don't critically think about what they're doing or how they're going to phrase something, and so they just use lazy terms like sell better items. Well, no shit, but it doesn't make sense because the items I'm buying are selling on a completely different platform with a different clientele, and it's selling better. And these are items I've looked up on eBay and bought specifically to sell on eBay, not specifically to sell on Poshmark. Now, there are brands that sell better on Poshmark, I've come to realize. Marine Layer is one of them. Patagonia sells exceedingly well on Poshmark. Pretty much any REI brand sells great on Poshmark. But, I mean, like, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that sells on Poshmark that should have sold on eBay as well. Lululemon sells way better on Poshmark than it does on eBay. Cool sells pretty solid on Poshmark, sells way better on eBay. 10,000 is one of my favorite brands to sell. It sells equally as good on eBay and Poshmark. Chrome Industries is surprising. So this is a San Francisco-based performance company, and it actually has been selling better on Poshmark than on eBay, which is really weird because on eBay it shows that it sells really strong, and I have quite a bit of this listed right now, and it's got attention, but I'm getting nothing but low ball offers. And before someone comes in here with the lazy thing, well, if someone's offering something, isn't that just them setting the market for it? No, you idiots. It's people right now, they lowball offer because there's a bunch of people on YouTube like me who are pointing out that sales are not where they need to be. And so people now think, oh, okay, I can come in. People are desperate. I can just offer like $20 for this, and the seller will have to maybe think about it to try to make a sale today. That's mostly what it is. I get a lot of lowball offers on both platforms, and it is what it is. It's part of doing business and e-commerce on these sites. Take it. You just gotta roll with the punches, guys. Page. This is a brand that I stopped buying, and then all of a sudden I started doing research on it because I started seeing it again. And yeah, the federal jeans do really well on eBay and Poshmark. My only problem is I very rarely find it at a good price. My thrift stores see Page and they price it either 20 to 25, and it's really challenging to find it on clearance, or it's really challenging just to find it under $15. So when I do, I pick it up typically if it's in good shape, because it'll sell 30 to 35 bucks on both platforms. More cool. Look at this. I'll show you. I'll come back to this here. This sold for $276, 9 items, but I'll come back to it. Gitman Bros is a really good, solid brand. I actually have quite a bit. I had a lot of it, and it sold on eBay. This is the first time I sold it on Poshmark, which is really cool because it was really surprising, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'll come back to show you this bundle as well. Chubbies, it sells equally as well on both platforms. These shoes, I just took the first offer. I'm trying to get out of shoes. However, I've picked up more shoes. I'm like, what the hell? My wife's even like, what are you doing? But when I see a good deal on a strong pair of shoes, I'm going to get it. This was not a good deal on a strong pair of shoes. Vintage Nike pants, really good. I thought these would have sold on eBay, but they took a long time. Vintage Nike just, I guess, isn't doing as well as it once did. I'll show you this bundle. We'll come back to these bundles. Built. This is the other brand that does super well, very well on Poshmark. And I'm coming to find out that the online, like, premium fashion essentials brands, like Built, Cuts, Mack Weldon, Those kind of brands do very, very, very well on Poshmark, and I think it's because it's marketed to a younger generation. Um, so I sell these shirts. I get them all the time for like $5 to $6. I price them at $20 on eBay, process them for $20 on Poshmark, and I get about $17. So it's a really good come up, guys. Rain Spooner does better on eBay, but I'm surprised it sells on Poshmark. This buyer actually just commented on here saying, if I would have known the top button was different than the rest of the buttons, I wouldn't have bought this. It's like, who the fuck buttons a shirt all the way up and wears it like that? Especially like a Hawaiian shirt. It's like, dude, you know you fucking showing some chest hair wherever you're wearing that. And ain't no one going to see that fucking button. So it's like, get off your horse, man. LL Bean sells great on both platforms. Aftco sells. Actually, don't know. I started buying it again, and then I realized this was in great shape, and then I got it home and realized there was a big fucking cut in the thigh area, so I just fire sold it. Beyond Yoga does way better on Poshmark. Most women's brands do better on Poshmark, so I started finding this brand more often for some reason, and I'm picking it up. The thrift stores are not overpricing it, and it sells between $25 and $30 on both platforms, pretty strong. RoArc does a lot better on Poshmark, so I pick up that. This is a cool bundle. So I actually, this sale here is a factor of two things: needing to get more items, so we can spread the listings out and make more money overall, and having more confidence in brands now that I'm on two different platforms. So Under Armour, specifically golf polos, is something I have more confidence in now that I'm on two platforms. Because you have to understand, guys, the whole premise of Poshmark for me in my business model is to basically double the sell-through rate on most of my store. And it really has kind of come to fruition, as you saw from last week. So, but yeah, this was two tech polos that I priced at $16.97. And this person came in and bought both on a 20% off offer on Poshmark. So that, my friends, is value. Wellen is a Huckberry brand. These shorts, I've actually only found it ever twice. And they've both sold on Poshmark of all places. So again, Huckberry, you need to start learning these more like really popular online brands. They sell great on Poshmark. Adriana Goldschmied sells well on Poshmark and eBay. I sell the pants for $30 on both platforms, and they do well. Rain Spooner again. So this is kind of cool. This was a very rare Rain Spooner. Sold for $30 on Poshmark in less than 3 hours. So I pick up Rain Spooner. I pick up every single bit of Rain Spooner and Paradise Found. If you're curious about like Hawaiian shirts, that's what you want to buy. Viore sells way better on Poshmark of all places. Viore is actually starting to lose favor on eBay, which is really shocking to me, because it's probably outside of some really high-end like athleisure brands. Not to say it's low-end, but Viore is probably like the top athleisure brand on the market right now in terms of sales velocity, and eBay, it's just not moving on eBay for me. Let's put it that way. I've listed tons and tons and tons of Viore these last 3 weeks, and I think I've had maybe 2 sales of it on eBay, and all the rest have been on Poshmark. Public Rec is another one of those online like essentials athleisure brands, and it sells great on Poshmark. All that shit sells so great on Poshmark. This is a bundle. This was the polo and just a crew top, and really, really great. This here, the buyer bought individually. He asked me to cancel each one, and I did, re-upped him, and then he ended up buying them again today. So Poshmark's great for bundle offers. McCade is a great golf brand. I don't see very many people buying it. I see very little out there. I've only found it a handful of times. I don't see a lot of people selling it. So it's a really high quality brand, guys. North Face does well on both eBay and Poshmark. Cuts Clothing does well on both platforms. Does way better on the Poshmark. And of all things, guys, REI sells way better on Poshmark than it ever has for me on eBay. So I'm going to show you a couple bundles. The first one is this large one. And you can see Lululemon, Ralph Lauren, Marine Layer again, Patagonia, Broark, a bunch of Lululemon, Public Rec, and then the Mission Workshop for $150. So you really got to look at it as he paid full price for the Mission Workshop, and I just gave him a discount for adding everything else. He paid like $127 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. So, yeah. And if you guys don't know, Mission Workshop is a very, very high-end brand, and it's something that everyone should be picking up if you see it. Yeah. Let's see here. I wanted to show you one other one because it kind of tickled my fancy a little bit. Here we go. Look at this. Does anyone pick these brands up? Because I stopped picking up 7 Diamonds, and I might start picking this up. And if I can get it's like Construct, but it's Struct is the brand name. If I can start getting those at a cheap price, which is hard for me, I see it all the time, but it's always at $10. If I can get it for under 7, I typically buy it because I can sell it for 20. 7 Diamonds is something I don't see very often in the bottoms. I see it in the flannels and shirts all the time. Do not get those. But the bottoms do well. Their joggers and pants do great. 7 Diamonds. Yeah. This was like one of the best combos I've ever seen because it was 2 pretty much subpar brands. These are filler brands for me personally. This is like, they're not even bread and butter. They're just like, I know they'll sell eventually type things. So they're super long tail, and I got a bundle of both of them. Really cool. But yeah, guys, that is it. And like I said, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, share my videos, smash the like button, or do whatever you want to the like button. It doesn't matter to me. Just don't break your monitor or your phone, because that would hinder you from being able to watch me again. And I just want to remind everyone now. I said it at the beginning, and I'm going to say it at the end here. I'm running we will be looking at some hard numbers come next week. I will be listing 18 items a day with my wife, all of this week, all of next week, and so we will see if increasing my listings by 50% will increase impressions and page views and sales by any measurable amount. And again, I might run that for 2 weeks straight before I start promoting, and then see what the variables, take like an average, see if it actually did better. And then what I'll do is start promoting the high competition items. I have like thousands listed, like I would say Untuckit, Ralph Lauren, that kind of stuff, guys. And I'm going to see if it increases the velocity of sales on that. But I still might change my mind on the promoted. I'm not convinced, but I would like to put the theory to rest. So guys, remember, as always, until next time, rule the day.